joining Dukascopy TV at the IFX EXPO here in Cyprus 2014. Now, across the two-day event, there are discussion panels covering a whole host of hot topics in the Forex industry. Ron Finberg from Forex Magnates is joining me in the TV booth right now to discuss digital currencies. Ron, thank you for coming over.
Thank you for having me.
Now, if we talk about this digital currencies, it really is a hot topic, isn't it? Tell us a little bit about your panel discussion that you'll be having and what sort of different points you're hoping to cover.
Well, the panel discussion is an area that we're hoping to really inform the audience. So there's a lot of questions about digital currencies, from the basics up till, more difficult questions like covering regulation. How does it work for brokers? How does it work as a payment process? Those are the types of items that we're really hoping to cover. But we're really going to start with the real basics and then, kind of move it up. And specifically for this audience, there is a lot of interest about it because people are always looking for new products, new currencies, whether it's the Chinese yuan or interesting CFDs to trade. So when it comes to Bitcoins, everybody's involved with it, everybody's seeing it, but a lot of people are telling us we're not really sure. Should we be involved with it, not be involved with it? They'll hear things like Mt. Gox falling apart, or they'll hear about scams. Even in Cyprus, this event is in Cyprus, and there was a big company here that fell apart, and there was a little questions about what was going on there. So there's a lot of confusion in the market, and we're really hoping that in this panel to answer a lot of those difficult questions.
That's what I wanted to ask. What is the attraction of the IFX Expo? Why is this the correct forum to discuss this? What are you hoping to achieve?
Well, for Forex brokers specifically, they're always looking for the next hot item. Yesterday, when Google spoke at the panel, they had in their presentation about hot trends, they mentioned a very interesting item that they said that for the first time ever, search for digital currencies was actually greater than regular currencies. So that means that people in the entire world are more interested in digital currencies than in all the rest of the fiat. So when things like that happen, if you're a broker and you're involved with the financial industry, you have to understand, is this something you need to be involved with because people are searching for it and people want to understand it.
Excellent. And if we pick up on some of the points you are going to discuss in the panel, where would you say the opportunities lie for digital currencies in this industry? There's so much going on.
Right. So I think that the most fitting place where digital currencies would be useful for every single broker is as far as a payment option. At this event, there was a lot of companies here. There's a record number of payment processing companies here that are presented. So when that happens, that shows you that there's an inefficiency and there's problems as far as being able to receive funds from your clients. And with Bitcoins, this gives you a methodology in order to receive funds from clients from around the world without having to use a whole bunch of different payment products that are regional specific or country specific.
Okay. And what about with regards to regulation? There is obviously the huge question over the legitimacy of Bitcoin and other digital currencies as legal tender, as a currency itself. But what should people who are wanting to get into this have on their radar?
That's a very good question, and a lot of that has to do with where companies are opening up. Within the trading market, a lot of people are just creating synthetic products. They're saying, I don't want to deal with regulation, so I'll create a synthetic Bitcoin product which can go up and down and my clients can trade it. And it doesn't matter, they're not actually buying and selling Bitcoins, and therefore they don't have to worry about regulation. That's one thing people are doing. A lot of it is really depending on what you're doing, where you're doing it. And what's an interesting item about regulation is people say, what about regulation? But it's not a simple answer because there's really two sides of it. On one side, you have the governments who really want to know. They want to know about money laundering. They want to know about knowing your customer and recognize all these banking laws that exist. They want to know how we apply that to Bitcoin payment transfers. So that's one side of the token. On the other side of the token is regulation, where if I'm a customer and I buy $1,000 worth of Bitcoin and I have it at an exchange, I want to know that money is safe. So people are looking for some sort of regulation that will put rules on Bitcoin companies to know that the money there is being safe. So regulation is not such a simple answer because it's really two different questions. There's regulation on what governments want, and there's regulation what customers want. And more likely than not, we'll probably see something first happening on the government side, and then after too many client complaints, then the government's applying something for the customer side.
Okay, so therefore, all things considered, what do you think is the future for digital currency? You've mentioned the demise of MT Gox, and some countries have said no to Bitcoin already. Some countries, some companies are really taking it on board. So what do you think in 10, 20 years, for example, where will this be heading?
So what I tell people in the space is the most important item to do is find a problem and where you're bringing a solution. So the question really comes down to where Bitcoin is going to become creating solutions. And definitely in the cross-border market with payments, there's a lot of very interesting solutions, a lot of interesting problems where people are coming with very innovative solutions using digital currencies.
Fantastic. Well, Ron, thank you so much for coming over and sharing your insight with us. It's been a pleasure. Good luck at the panel.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, well, that's all from Ron and myself for the moment, but make sure you keep clicking back for all the insider info at the IFX Expo here in Cyprus 2014. Goodbye for now.